Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada 9 updates and spoilers. Woo! I'm feeling a little rusty, but I want to thank you all so much for being here. And let's get right to it. Our house guests of the day. We've got Krista Patton and Wilson Matthias. Thank you both so much for the support. You guys are amazing, and we could not do this without you. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day in a future spoiler, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Okay, so I had so much fun doing the live spoilers with you guys during BB22, but things are a little bit crazy right now, so we got to go back to doing these recorded. We'll see what happens throughout the season, but we're going to try it like this for now. I'm also going to be doing shorter spoilers this season. They're going to be lean and nice. Not lean and mean, but lean and nice. And I just feel like the spoilers got way too long, and there's so many people putting out videos now, like, you couldn't possibly watch everything now these days. So I just wanted to keep these light, give you guys all the essential information. But again, I want to thank you all so much for being here. It really means a lot to us. So let's get going. We got a lot to talk about here. Also, I have no idea how long this video is going to be right now. But if this one is a little bit longer, they will get shorter. But we have a lot to unpack here with the first night of live feeds. So last night, Julie was voted out by a vote of 11-2. Julie and Victoria were the two that voted to evict Josh instead. And Team Defender is now down one person. I'm wondering how long this team twist is going to last, because what if Team Defender just gets, like, decimated? Are they gonna have, like, somebody has to go over to the other team or what? Like, I can't imagine this twist lasting more than just like a few weeks, but we'll see what happens. So the feeds came on not long after the show ended, but I gotta say, last night was rough. Okay, the feeds were blocked on and off all night, and like, I remember in past years, like, waiting hours and hours and hours for, like, competitions to be over, or, like, nomination ceremonies or whatever, or, like, any challenges that they had that had to do with sponsors. Like, those can take a long time. But I had forgotten how quick they are to block things out. But then there was, like, weird stuff last night that I assumed would have been blocked out, but wasn't. Like, people talking about STDs that they've had and stuff. I was like, what? I was shook that they didn't block that. But anyway, whatevs. So, before the feeds came back, they did have the first HOH competition of the season. It had something to do with balls. I don't know what type of balls these were. I don't know what they were doing with them, but there were balls involved. And it came down to LaToya and Austin. So the ladies are kicking butt this season already. And it sounds like Austin promised LaToya safety for her to, like, drop out of the competition. So Austin is the first HOH of the season, which also means that Team Destiny is safe for the week. So nominations and the Power of Veto are back this week, but Austin only has 6 people from the opposite team to choose from to go up on the block. Isn't that wild? So somebody from Team Defender will be going again this week. So just to remind you guys, unfortunately, I don't have a whiteboard. I was planning on, you know, like, writing out the 2 teams on a whiteboard and just, like, having it here, but I don't have those things. So, anyway, the people eligible for eviction this week are Kiefer, Brayden, Jedson, LaToya, Rohan, or Josh. Not a lot of choices here. And it's even less because, and I'm just going to give you guys the short version of this. So basically, Austin already promised LaToya that she's safe this week, so she's not going to put her up. She's, like, super, super close to Brayden, not going to put him up. She has some sort of, like, a flirty thing going with Jedson, / she's also working with him. She's not going to put him up. So her only real options here are Kiefer, Rohan, or Josh. And everybody seems to know the score here. Everybody seems to know that those 3 are the ones that are in danger this week. So the feeds were blocked briefly while Austin got her HOH room, and everybody was hanging out in there for a while, just chit-chatting, real casual. And after a while, they started to break off into groups, and that's when we could start learning more about the dynamics of the first week that we didn't get to see. So, Latoya, Tina, Tishan, Kiefer, and Rohan were all chatting on the upstairs couches, and they were talking. Apparently, Julie went off on Josh right before the eviction episode. Lots of swearing. It sounded like it got kind of personal, which is not great. But they're all wondering if it's going to make the show. I mean, maybe we'll get to see a flashback during Monday's episode, but I don't know, because they're going to have a lot of stuff to squeeze into that episode. So maybe we'll see it. Maybe we won't. We'll see. But apparently it was pretty wild. A little later, the backyard opened up, and they were all freaking out about this, like, TikTok booth thing that they have set up for them. They were watching some videos on there. I'm not sure if that's also going to allow them to, like, film new TikToks. I'm assuming it probably would, right? Because TikTok is a sponsor this season. But now that the backyard's open, Rohan and Kyle were chatting over a game of billiards. So, they agree Josh is most likely going up this week. A lot of people have been saying that. It sounds like he's not really fitting in, but also some of the shenanigans that he was up to last week while he was in danger really rubbed people the wrong way. So everybody's saying, like, Josh is going to be going up on the block for sure. And then Rohan was like, I hope that Kiefer is going to be the other nominee and not me. Because everybody knows the score. They know that the other three are probably going to be safe. So it's really down to Kiefer, Rohan, and Josh. So then they talk about how they're both having a tough time reading Beth. And this is interesting because Tina and Latoya were talking a little earlier, and they also were saying they don't trust Beth. So some people are really not digging Beth at this point, or at least they don't feel comfortable with her game-wise. So, Rohan and Kyle feel that Beth is close to Austin. Yes, she is. And Rohan says those two are the two people that Rohan did not want to win this HOH. Oops. But again, they go back to Josh and they agree they can't stand him, which makes me so sad because he doesn't seem that I mean, we didn't get to see the first week, but from what I've seen so far, he just seems like quiet and introverted, and he's different, but I don't feel like he's a jerk or anything. I don't know. So, anyway. Also, with everyone wanting him out, like, I want him to stay. Is that wrong? I don't know. But Kyle says he's going to make sure that Rohan doesn't go up this week. He's going to talk to Austin because they're on the same team, and he thinks he can put in a good word for Rohan. But Rohan's worried that he could go up if one of the nominees win the power veto. Yeah, who else is she gonna put up, right? So then, Latoya, Tina, and Tishan were chatting in the kitchen, and those three are all really tight, and they're actually part of a 6-person alliance called the Sunsetters. So it's Latoya, Tina, Tishan, who they're all calling Ty, by the way, Kiefer, Judson, and Beth. But this is where it's weird, because Tina and Latoya were saying earlier they don't trust Beth, but apparently they're in an alliance with her. It seems like one of those things where they set up an alliance really quickly, like too quickly, and they realize, oh crap, I don't actually want to work with this person. But it's too late, you know, they're already in the alliance, so what are you going to do? But they agree that it was the right call to get rid of Julie yesterday. I was going to say last week. Yesterday. Latoya says Julie really exposed all of her alliances. Apparently, Julie was also throwing out their, like, fake alliances, which a lot of people were upset about. But yeah, it seems like Julie really talked her way out the door. You know, she really screwed herself over in this game. But Latoya and Tina say Kiefer is probably going up this week. But they feel like they have the numbers to keep him if he's up there against Josh. There could be an issue, though, if Josh wins the power of veto. Because Rohan would probably, Lord of the Rings brain. Rohan would probably go up, and, yeah, they just want to make sure that Josh doesn't win the power veto, because they want him out. They feel like this is an easy out for them, and they don't want any of their allies to go. So we find out, too, the plan last week was actually to get rid of Josh. He was supposed to go. But then LaToya put in work to change the target to Julie. Apparently, she was, like, pulling people into rooms and explaining Julie's got to go because she would have been harder to get out later in the game. Like, the longer that she stayed in, the more difficult it would be to get rid of her. And LaToya is also saying, look, if Austin won HOH this week and Julie was still here, Julie was not going to go up on the block because Austin was tight with Julie. So we would be in a crappy situation. So anyway, a little later, Kiefer was talking to Tina and LaToya, and Kiefer knows he's probably going up. Everybody knows what's going on, for the most part. And they tell him, you should be fine with the votes. But Kiefer is really concerned about Josh winning the power of veto. And we'll see what happens. But he feels like he has 5 votes to stay because, again, he is in that Sunsetters Alliance. I think it's 5 to tie this week because they should be going back to the regular voting where the 2 nominees and the HOH don't vote. So it should be 10 people voting, right? And then he would have LaToya, Tina, Ty, and Jed and Beth. Is that? Yeah, that's 5. I'm really tired. So it would be 5 to tie, and then if they could get somebody else, he could stay. But they're telling Kiefer, like, just don't panic, don't freak out, you just need to stay chill. And they advise him, when you talk to Austin, don't even mention that you could be a potential nominee this week, because then if you start saying that, she's going to have it in her head, and she's going to, like, already be thinking that, so just don't even talk like you're a potential nominee this week. He's not going to listen to that. So then Austin and Brayden have a game chat in the HOH. Hey, 2 remaining the dolls. They're very close. They were talking about how they felt kind of unsure about Julie when they were in their little trio, but they're glad that the 2 of them are still together. So Austin, her plan this week, she really wants to see who's going to come talk to her, what kind of information are they going to bring. She wants to gather some info this week. But she says Kiefer is already being awkward with her. Yeah. And she says, I know everybody wants Josh to go this week, but I kind of want Kiefer to go. So she's thinking about telling Josh that he's actually the pawn. But I feel like in this situation, you shouldn't put up Josh if you want him to stay because people are ready to take him out. So there's a good chance that Josh could go if he's up on the block. So I don't know that it would be a good idea to put him up if she really does want him to stay. And it seems like she wants Josh to stay and Kiefer to go. But it is still early in the week, so who knows what will happen. So Austin is also considering pulling Rohan in to work with them, but she fears that he's too close to the guys already. Yeah, I definitely see, like, a guy thing happening here with, like, Rohan, Kyle, Ty, and Jed. And everybody seems to want to work with Ty and Jed. They are the it guys right now. Austin and Brayden are both agreeing they want to work with Ty and Jed, so Brayden's going to start talking to them. Jed and Ty are, like, the new core. Cody and Enzo. I'm getting some freaking flashbacks to BB22. So, anyway, Victoria joins them later, and these 3 are close, and I love it. This is like the new dolls. You know, we've got Victoria, Austin, and Brayden. They all agree they're not feeling as sketched about Kyle anymore. They weren't sure about him as first, but now they're starting to really like him and want to work with him as well. They also were talking about how they don't know why the guys are so close to LaToya. And I think they're kind of jealous about it because they want to work with those guys. They're not totally sure how they feel about LaToya. So they're worried that the 3 of them are going to be targets moving forward because they were all close to Julie. And they really want to do some damage control this week and make sure that they're going to be good moving forward. So Austin says again, she wants Kiefer to go this week. And she says, I like him, but I feel like he doesn't like me. That's an issue, right? If Kiefer were to win HOH, would he put Austin up on the block? So, yeah, Victoria says she'll do whatever Austin wants. Just say the word. So then we've got a late night strategy chat between Austin and Beth. These two are very tight. And it's funny because Beth was like, I can't believe, like, nobody's onto us yet. Nobody knows how close we are. But Rohan and Kyle definitely clocked that during their pool game earlier. So anyway, Austin is again making it known now to Beth that she wants Kiefer out. She says Kiefer is a fan of the show. He knows the game. He could do something crazy, and he doesn't like me. So those are all things working against him. And Austin was also saying she wants to make sure Brayden is going to be safe moving forward. She really likes him, and I'm excited that they're looking out for each other. And Austin and Beth agree they feel like Jed and Ty can take them far. So there is another alliance with Jed and Ty. These four are working together. But they're nervous that the guys have other stuff going on that they don't know about, so they feel like they need to work on setting something else up to protect them, just in case they do have the guys do have something else going on, which, yeah, you should probably get setting up quickly. So today, Austin is still planning on nominating Kiefer and Josh, and Kiefer is her target, but only a few people know that so far. Only a few people. So people start having one-on-ones with Austin, and Josh has his with Austin in the HOH room. He's like, let me go through some pros and cons for why you should keep me around. He says, number 1, pro, I'm cute. He also says, I had a moment last week. I'm going to be real. I got a little crazy last week. I got all my crazies out of the way, though. So now you don't have to worry. Are they all out of the way, or was it just a taste? I mean, we didn't actually get to see it, which is unfortunate, but who knows. So he says, I will make moves for you. Just tell me what you want, and I will do it. Also, no one else is going to want to work with me. So I'm going to be working exclusively for you. That is a good point, right? And he is like a meat shield moving forward. So it makes sense for Austin to want to keep him. And he says, I'd love to see a girl win. You know, if I'm in the jury, I would love to vote for you to win. All right. So he made some good points. Kiefer also had a one-on-one with Austin. And he says, I think Josh would be a great target this week. He just dove right into it. So he says, also, you should put a strong competitor up next to Josh so that Josh won't win the power veto. And he says it'd be horrible if Josh came off the block this week. Would it, though? I mean, I'd be kind of into it. So Kiefer says, look, I know I could be next to Josh. I hope it's not going to be me, but I totally understand if you put me up. I know it's just like a game thing. There's a lot of assumptions happening here. But he asks Austin straight up, is Josh your target this week? And Austin says, I think a little too eagerly, like, at this moment, yeah. Like, seemed kind of fake to me, but I don't know. Also, that's a lie, because Josh is not her target right now. But Kiefer says, I think Rohan would be a good pawn. He would do well in the veto competition and make sure that Josh does not win. So Kiefer is also saying he wants to work with Brayden. He really likes him. Of course, you want to say that to Austin, right? And, yeah. He told Austin if it's him up on the block with Josh, he's fine with staying up there after the power veto as long as Josh is also on the block. I think you're going to regret that if that's what happens. I don't know. I don't know how the votes would shake out, but it would definitely be riskier than I think Kiefer realizes. So then things got really weird, and I don't even know 100% what's going down. But after Kiefer's one-on-one with Austin, he's leaving the HOH room, and a couple of the guys are, like, moving Kiefer's bed from the bedroom to the backyard. They're like, you're losing your bed, bud. And he's just like, what? What's going on? Okay. What? I don't know what the hell this is. It sounds like they may have had some sort of a, like, sponsor-related challenge this morning. there was some talk maybe of like somebody getting an advantage or one of the teams getting an advantage in the upcoming Power Veto competition. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but there also wasn't food in the storage room this morning, and then Big Brother after a while gave them a basket full of bread, peanut butter, and jelly, which is like old school have not rules, which is amazing. So also like I would love that. I think I could eat PB&J for an entire week. But yeah, I don't know what this is. I feel like that has to do with the challenge because there's still also people on slop. What? So I'm not sure at this point who is on slop and who is on PB&J and how the PB&J came into the picture. Hopefully I will have more on the have-not situation and all of the eating situation for you tomorrow. I wish I could tell you. But they did not get the have-not room as of filming this. So they should be getting that at some point tonight if they're already eating slop. So yeah, I don't know what's going on here. But the OLG room is also open now, and a few of them were like pranking each other by hiding behind the couches. Oh my god, I think it was Jedson who got Tara really good, and Victoria was in on that too. But Victoria was chosen to enjoy some Wendy's with I don't know anyone's names yet. I can't believe I made it through this whole video without like really screwing up, unless I did and I didn't realize. By Austin. Austin chose Victoria to enjoy the Wendy's with her, and of course that was blocked. We never get to see that on the feeds. But they haven't had nominations yet though. Fridays are really, really busy in the Big Brother Canada house. The nominations should be happening later today, and it should be Kiefer and Josh going up on the block. Kiefer is really going to spiral this week. I see it already. He's not even up, and he's spiraling. He's annoying people. I would not be surprised if the target flips this week, but we'll see what happens. I mean, we already know that Austin wants Josh to stay and for Kiefer to go, but it seems like LaToya's got a lot of pull in the house, and she wants Josh out badly. So it could come down to what Austin wants this week versus what LaToya wants. So we'll see what happens. But check back later. I will post the nominations in the info for this video when, after they happen. So let me know what you guys think about all this. POV competition should be tomorrow, so that'll be exciting. And welcome back. Thank you for being here. And until next time, much love.